So here I'm going to talk about the brain-computer interface, what's called BCI in short. I belong to a BCI center of this institute, UTS in School of Software, where we do this kind of stuff. And he is also the director of BCI sitting there, Professor C.T. Lin. So he's like doing this work from more than 10 to 15 years now, and yeah, I'm also part of that. So when we talk about the BCI, the first thing come in the mind, like we just talked that, what's a BCI? What's the brain-computer interface, or what's brain-computer interface and brain-machine interface are interchangeable, so don't be confused with that. So imagine something like we are here in this room. You can just think and control the things around you just by thinking. You don't need to speak like I'm speaking now. The room is quiet and the thoughts will directly transfer to your mind and my talk finished. Even we don't need to gather in the room maybe, because you can just communicate with your brain. This is what the purpose of BCI at the moment. But when the thought came in the mind of, in the past, in the Hans Berger, the scientist in 1920, he started doing experiment with something like that. And what he found is that he can somehow capture the signal of the brain or the things going on in the brain and can use it somewhere. From that moment to now, this is keep developing. But I'm talking about 1920, so it's like almost 100 years. And still development is not that fast, but from last 10 years, we are progressing so fast. Maybe the reason is the organization like a DARPA in the US or US Army, these kind of people funding a lot to develop this technology, and this development really getting more and more better seen now. So at the moment, these are some of the applications with the BCI. You are able to see, access, and fundamentally prove to working. For example, I'm talking about the current state of art work. You can have controlled prosthetic arm just by brain signal. You can do typing kind of stuff, what's called spelling, BCI speller, just by brain signal. You can do something in the VR, interaction, and related things and gaming. You can also control a robotic arm to for a lock-in syndrome kind of people. So this kind of thing already there in the BCI and successfully working. But maybe not in the real world, maybe not a general person use. So for example, we just essentially did something like this. So what I just showed you here. Okay, so let me tell you the difference between when we talk about the real world and when we talk about this is lab environment demonstration. This thing is still not possible in the real world environment because there's a lots of setup need. But still we did something like this last year with one of the company called Foxconn, who's actually building the iPhones in Taiwan, and we developed some system. It's a demonstration basically to prove that yeah, it's working. I'm going to play this. So here he's controlling basically this arm to get assistant to eat food, and it's very simple system using a setup which is wearable and can use in the real world environment. So he need to see this option what he is interested in, and then the robotic arm basically move it and does that job for him without any additional interaction with the device. You see he's wearing something on the head, and that's a device which is actually reading his brain signal to control that robotic arm. It's quite wireless, portable, and can be used in the real world environment. That's what I'm trying to say here. Without any need of those traditional problems like a training and testing, those kind of things. Just wear it, you are able to use it. So this is the one system. I'm skipping this and move to the second one. Yeah, here's another research is recently published from the Stanford, USA. I think last week or maybe the week before that, where the woman is implanted something in the brain to read the signal. The one I showed before is completely outside. What is here is implanted in the head. And she's a lock-in syndrome patient, means she cannot move their head and anything else, but she is able to
our research collaboration is to
able
restore
to
function
type
for
just using the brain signal.
speed, people who have spinal
And not
cord
just
injury,
type with at least 25 bits per minute, so that's so fast, and make it more feasible to use it regularly in the real world environment, but maybe not.
Our research is focused on an area called the motor cortex. The motor cortex is responsible for generating movement on the opposite side of the body. Even in cases where you have paralysis, those cells, those neurons in that area of the brain are still active.
We can surgically implant a tiny electrical sensor that's made out of silicon that has 100 tiny electrodes that just sits on the surface of the brain.
You see, this is the
pick up
something.
on the electrical activity of individual brain cells or neurons.
We record tiny signals from those neurons, those brain cells, called action potentials. We can then take those signals and decode them using
So you might get idea what the BCI can do at the moment, and it's quite powerful, but lots of possibility are there, as well as lots of ethics behind it also as well, and I hope you are working on it. What to move next? Yeah. So when we talk about the BCI, the basic question is what's going on? How is the BCI is working? It seems like some sci-fi kind of thing, which is just out of box and start working, but it's not. It's behind it. There's lots of different things going on, and one of the major thing is the first one, reading those brain signal or measuring those brain signal, and remaining part is after that. But if you're unable to do it properly, then remaining part will not work as well. So I will focus on what's going on here and how you can do that, so that you can make some BCI stuff. You see here, this is our brain. If I put you in the dark room and make your tissues of the brain transparent, it will look something like this, where your neurons or the cell inside the brain, which is called neurons, keep firing, keep active, and do something like this. This is the one of the real brain demonstration recorded from the brain signal, and yeah, this is the figure representing that. What's going on here is that, but what we does with using the device is, for example, this is your brain, and we are trying to measure the signal from your brain surface. It could be implanted, it could be surface. What we does is, we take particular neuron and try to see his electrical activity like this, and just try to capture that. That is what the device does, and then we are able to follow up that signal for other processing part, which I just showed in the previous slide. This is how we record the brain signal. So we can record either current flow, we can record other magnetic field, and there are other also options which can be used to record this signal. So this recording, as I mentioned here, you can do two ways. Either you put the chip in your brain. Of course, nobody wants to do that. It's limited to experiment. And if I ask maybe someone in the room, maybe 99% will say, no, I don't want, because nobody knows what's the problem after doing that, and we are not sure if it's very successful or not. So second way is use some kind of headset like I put there, or lab environment, what is called EEG, have you heard about it, to record the signal. Here you just need to wear it as like a cap or normal headset without any medical invasion in your body or brain, and you just wear and you can remove, and this also can record the same signal, but maybe different level of information. So I just talk about those BCI stuff. There are lots of different techniques to do that. And if you see, there's a EEG, MEG, FNIRs, PET. These are equipment. Maybe some of them you heard, some of them not. And one of the best equipment is here is this, because it can give you very very low spatial resolution, but it's a quite high temporal resolution. That means it can give you information with a rate of 2,000 different data points in 1 second. So, at the same time, this is the axis which is talking about the degree of immobility. So this is one of the devices also quite portable to use if you talk about a dry sensor, which I will show in the demo. So most preferred device in the current era is EEG, which we use regularly as a BCI equipment. Other is maybe more for experiment, but if we talk about the real world environment, then EEG is the something which you use. This is something, one of the EEG equipment. Actually, this is also from our center developed in the past. What's a good thing with this kind of device is that it's a wearable, like a headset. It's a wireless, no need any kind of wire. It's a dry. Dry means you don't need any additional setup to use it for using it. It's portable and it's not that expensive as other clinical equipment. And the most important, you don't need to implant in your brain, just wear it and it's non-invasive. So what I want to say here is that how the BCI is all about and how it's working, especially in my case, what I'm doing. This is my research area. I'm doing this kind of work in this UTS. So using those kind of things, I did some of the research, like I mentioned here, something about virtual reality, try to understand it, playing game, just using that kind of device to understand more deeper brain statistics, and just use the robotic control, which we did in the past. But what are the other possibilities with the BCI? If you see just next 10 to 20 years from now, I think you will see BCI all around the clock from you. You will see BCI to keep evaluating your health. You can see BCI to when you're going from morning your office using your car, as you're using BCI to help your car to understand you and drive you to the office. You can also use, maybe BCI will be keep evaluating your emotion, that to serve you different things based on your emotion. It can be instruct you what kind of exercise or meditation you might need. Even in the afternoon of the office time, it can tell you that it's a time of sleeping. Maybe you need a sleep. You cannot continue effort, put more. When you reach the home, as you reach the home, it will start the different devices for you. And maybe you use this to interact with some kind of gaming for some enjoyment for you. And as well as when you go to sleep, it also helps you in sleep quality understanding. This is, I'm just talking about, you are going to see it in 10 to 20 years, hopefully. And maybe everyone you here have this kind of thing. Like we are wearing glasses at the moment, maybe you are wearing BCI device in next 10 years. Similar way, it's quite common for you, and it will do this kind of job all the time for you. Yeah.
Do you think it's possible, just as we've gone from like wired charging of devices to wireless charging of devices, that BCI will actually progress to a point where you can actually remotely access those electrical neurons or whatever that are firing and actually access the signals from your brain remotely? And once that technology develops, you know, the kind of concerns associated with that.
Some people are also working in this similar kind of area where they want to do what we just mentioned here, that they want to do remotely. For example, you just enter in the room and your brain is already accessible from the device attached on the rooftop. Yeah, that's a thing also part of future, but unfortunately at the moment no, because EEG have this kind of device have some kind of restriction. They need to touch your surface of the brain. Someone's got or something. Okay. So this is the something you is gonna see in 10 to 20 years, maybe from different lab, maybe from our lab, our research center. Or we are also gonna see something like this. This is quite possible things I'm put it here. It's not hypothetical at all. In next 10 to next 50 years, not 10 years to 20 years, you are definitely gonna connect your brain completely with the internet. Why internet? Because that's one of the necessary thing to being and get information. And when you need it continuously, you just hook up your brain with the internet and you are completely download or not upload, I will not say, talk about the second way, but just information you can take from the internet. And also the same, like you want update of Facebook, just quickly, you just thought and it's done. Similarly, this is recently University of Washington proved that concept, but I would say it still is far where we can talk in this room wirelessly, quietly, without moving our lips at all, and thus the information or thought reach to the particular person we selected or everyone. The same thing also possible here, where we can even record our precious memory to the cloud, like we put the files on the cloud at the moment. This is gonna see, you are gonna see in 50 years for sure. Other than that, one of the things I always advocate is called mind uploading. That's gonna also happen if we are able to understand the brain completely. Yeah.
One of the questions we've got about this is we've got a lot of, there's a lot of data on BCI when it comes to outbound data. So we can control a lot of things using our mind and stuff like that. But here we're talking about the ability to download information. So for uploading, it's just a matter of we know what and how, it's just implementation. But for downloading, do we actually have a proper way of interfacing and inputting data short of just our general senses? So is there a way of directly downloading data to our brain yet, or is that something we still have to develop?
There are at least some demonstration which can show that. For example, there's one research from one of the university in the USA which is able to show it's between one person who are archer, is a professional archer, and another person who don't know anything, is fresh for arching. What they are able to do, they're able to extract that information, I would say, upload that information to the information cloud of BCI, and just put the same information in the person who don't know about the arching. And when he demonstrates the arching practice, he's able to do the same performance like the professional one. So it's one of the good example where this kind of mind, I would say, linking brain with the internet or part of mind uploading. Yeah.
Sorry, who was that you referenced? Also, to correct that name that you referenced.
I need to check the name of the university, but you can check the name of Archer. You can check that how they are able to manipulate the information in the brain of one person based on the other person by using the same information.
What would happen if you did that with like everyone?
So that's interesting actually. So they are able to see this at the moment, and I'm pretty sure they are continue improving this particular field to how we can make people have the same information, set of information or same kind of skill whenever they want. Just so you can see that this is one of the very interesting part of concept for the government, especially organization like a DARPA, because they're really interested in that for their soldier, to give them skill, to give them without much effort in the training, they can just put those information in the brain and they are able to train themselves. So this is what this is, and this is the future of BCI. Yeah.
How can I use this to control people or other people? And can I control them 100%?
That is called brain hack, in other words. And it's actually possible if you are not really careful and if you are here in where you connect your brain with the internet. It's really possible. You can put those kind of information in the brain when it's downloading, that can keep uploading the information to your brain or your system, and then you are able to control them, basically. But of course, I believe that once we approve this kind of concept, then there will be some ethical issues and security issues also arise, and some other group will start focusing on that as well. So this is, because I squeezed my talk, so I will not go beyond that. This is what possible with the BCI at the moment, and a lot of possibility other. I think whatever you see now, AI, robotic control, humanoid robots, or all those technology, this can cover up by just alone this BCI. It has that much potential. It has potential because your whole body, your senses, why exists is just because of brain. So you can take out the whole brain outside and still is a complete entity, which can give the same set of power what you are doing with the body. So this is gonna change the world, I believe, if it's developed more and more. Thank you for listening.